can see it.
We live because I see y'all on there, all in the camera.
Yours is happening. Yeah, okay.
Kayleen is live.
Yours is happening, but this, yes, I think it kicked out the legacy. I don't think we can, yeah. Okay.
Oh. So now we know. One.
Okay,
Hey.
we live.
Hello, everybody. We are live again. What is this? Episode 9?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Episode 9.
We doing it. We doing it.
Yeah.
The 20th. We gotta have a big celebration.
Yeah.
You know?
Yes, exactly.
So, for those who don't know, we are legacy builders, and this podcast is Romance and Finance, where we talk about relationships and finance, and we bridge them together to help you with find solutions in your relationship to make it stronger, so you can help you build generational wealth and a legacy for your family. My name is Tiana Moody. I am a realtor as well as an interior designer. I have my business partners with me.
Shidi Locario, also a realtor, financial strategist.
And I myself, Tawana Singleton, I am the financial literacy coach.
And I'm Kayleen Smith, aka Mr. Life. I'm a financial service broker.
All right. And the topic tonight is sleeping with the enemy.
Whew.
Sleeping with the enemy. So let's get into it.
Yeah, so I mean, who's sleeping with the enemy?
Not me.
So I guess let's define what we mean by sleeping with the enemy.
Right.
Because we're not really talking about, our true enemy, right?
Mhm.
We're talking about someone who we've been with for so long and we may have lost that trust.
Mhm.
We love them,
Mhm.
but may not be in love with them.
Mm.
But we love them. We stay
Mhm.
with them.
Sure.
And we no longer trust them. We've been
Mhm.
hurt by them so many times
Mhm.
that we lost that trust in them and we're just there.
Mhm.
Okay.
We can't confide in them about anything because we know what their reaction is going to be,
Mhm.
or they just hurt us so much that we feel like we can't talk to them. But we're
Mhm.
still in a relationship with them, right?
Mhm.
So
So I mean,
that's what we mean by sleeping with the enemy.
with that being said, right? I mean, why do you think that people stay in a relationship, knowing these things are going on, but they still choose to stay? Why even stay? What's holding them back from leaving?
Yeah.
My opinion
Mhm.
is some people are just comfortable.
Okay.
Mhm.
They've been doing it for so long and they just want to stay there.
Mhm.
They comfortable. They don't want change. Some people look at getting away from a relationship or breaking up in a relationship more so like, wow, so now I have to start all over again.
Mhm.
Mm.
So they may not want to do that. Or it can be they have grown in a household where they saw their parent
Mhm.
go through it and think that it's normal.
Mm.
Well, I've seen my mom go through this
Mhm.
and she dealt with it, been with this man for this many amount of years
Yeah.
or married,
Yeah.
and this is just the norm.
Yeah.
Those are just two of my opinions on why people may.
Yeah. Yeah. I think that's true. I mean, coming from a woman's point of view, because I don't think men are, feel the same way. I think when you guys are ready to leave, you leave. I don't think you guys linger.
To a degree, that may not be completely true. So what it is that I think it depends on, one, how much time was invested,
Mhm.
how much money was invested. These things play a huge factor, because love is blind for everybody.
Mhm.
You could be with somebody and people around you may know, like, yo, why is he with her, or why is she with him, but you may not see it.
Yeah.
You may not see that you might bark upon a few arguments and things may not go completely right or whatever, but you still saying, oh, in your brain, this is a good relationship, this is a good person, but not realizing that the signs are there that y'all really truly shouldn't really be together, but because of comfortability, because of it, like I said, it may be financial hardship. Some people may just stay together because they literally can't afford to leave.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure.
So that's a huge thing that people don't really take into consideration, the financial aspect of it.
Mhm.
Like I think a lot of dudes would pack up and go if they could afford to pack up and go, but they can't. They stuck in that situation. They put themselves in that position to where, a lot of and you know, it's 2024, so a lot of relationships,
Mhm.
they're more of and I don't even want to say 50-50, but there's more than just the man doing everything.
Mhm.
So then, because now the man is relying on that woman to do something financially,
Mhm.
you know,
Mm.
now he's put that burden, not really say a burden, but he's put that on her.
Right.
So then now, if he wants to leave, now he has to like kind of plan a way to where this is not going to work anymore. I can financially do this on my own again, versus
Yeah.
with the person. So
Yeah, no, that's big.
Yeah.
Finances play a big role in
Mhm.
relationships, especially when you are depending on the other person's
Correct.
income. It's like,
Correct.
what are you going to do now? And if you don't have a way to supplement
Mhm.
that income when they leave,
Mhm.
it's very hard to break up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, if we're looking at raw numbers, I mean, statistically, 60% of relationships stay together because of finances.
Mhm.
Mm.
If we're being honest, most relationships is just sex and food. I mean, if we're being honest. we go out together, we're intimate, we eat, we go to sleep. I mean, if we're being honest.
That's
If
a
we're
huge
being
part
honest.
of it.
Most of the things we all do together, we get in the sun to eat, a little playtime, you know what I mean? And events in between, of course, naturally, but for the most part, that's what's driven. And to Kane's point, like for both sides, like you can't afford to leave people. And that's not even getting kids involved. You know what I mean? Imagine having an apartment where it's $2,500 a month. You only make $1,700 a month after taxes, and the other person only make $2,000 a month after taxes.
Right.
You can't leave. What you gonna do?
Yeah.
And for men, you don't want to go back to your mama house. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And you don't want to be even in that light, because as a man now you leave that woman, and it's probably gonna be hard to get another woman if you're at your brother's house, if you don't have a plan or if you don't know how to explain that.
Mhm.
Right.
You know what I mean? And a lot of men don't know how to explain that type of situation. But no, I mean, men overall, we do have a lower tolerance
Mhm.
and will leave faster.
Mhm.
But men do stay for those reasons, because at the end of the day, I mean, you may love somebody and they may be a good person, so you hold on a little bit longer. But it's also about like self-esteem. I think it comes down to both sides, is your own personal self-esteem. If you're not confident in yourself,
Mhm.
you will stay. You know what I mean? But if you're the type of person, I'm saying myself, like, I'm confident in myself, like, hey, if it's not meant to be, if I put my best foot forward, then I gotta go, because it's just not meant for me. And life goes on, and life is just too short, and there's too many opportunities out there to where if it's not working out and you're putting your best forward and it's just not working, then it is time for me to go. But it's hard to do that though.
Yeah.
Like it's hard, because it's hard to look somebody in the face that
Mhm.
you've been with 2, 3, 4 years, and like, oh, I gotta go now. Like you know,
Mhm.
families are involved. Your families love them.
Yeah.
Like
Ah.
mom love your
Connection.
girlfriend.
That's a good
And-
point.
yeah, everybody love.
Good
Oh,
point.
you should have never broke up with her. They give
What
you hell for
happened?
that.
Yeah,
yeah.
Then kids, don't let kids be involved with the
Yeah.
finances. Like
Yeah.
you really can't go. Plus you feel bad because now you're breaking up a household. So for men, there are multiple reasons why you may stay a little bit longer. But in general, we do have a lower tolerance, especially if the respect starts to slip.
Mhm.
Then that's when it's really like we gotta leave. Unfortunately, in this generation, there's a lot of men though that don't hold on to self-respect, and they allow that to happen, and that's even worse for a relationship. Hence this topic, where you don't respect yourself enough, and you allow the disrespect when you stay, and it's just
You're right.
spiraling out of control, where you're just walking around, and then depression gets involved, and all those type of stuff. So
Yeah, you can definitely have the lack of respect for yourself. I feel like that's a true thing, especially for women, because a lot of the times we will set aside ourselves and how we feel and what we're going through, knowing that we shouldn't be there, but we're thinking about, well, what if he does these things with somebody else?
Mhm.
You know, like all of the good times we had, like now you so focused on what ifs of somebody else taking your spot that you like, I don't know if I'm willing to.
Especially if it's somebody who, the thing about this is what us women think about, especially if it's somebody that we done helped build up.
Okay.
Nigga.
Yeah.
Ain't no way. Almost like that movie we talking about, right? Like, okay, so I done helped you grow as a man, grow into what you wanted to do, your desires and everything, and you trying to what?
But it's funny though that y'all say that though, because that's really a woman thing though.
That's
Because imagine you helping a man. He come to you when y'all first get together. He got a 540 credit score. worked him all the way up. He had a 780,
Listen.
You doing big things now,
You
ready
know?
to buy property, and now you gonna leave me?
Which always goes back to the point. Women are selfish.
I've been saying that. I've been saying that.
No, I mean, honestly, it's funny y'all say that because men truly are the opposite for the most part. Like, when we really say it though, like, yo, like we want to see y'all win. We want to see y'all win. Like, oh, let's say they work out with us. Like, we truly happy to see you doing your thing. Now, of course, we don't want to see you with your new man at the same barbecue. But outside of that, like, outside of that, we happy to see y'all doing y'all thing. You're moving on with life. Because I mean, we think about that. I got plenty of exes like, I hope she's doing good. You know what I mean? And it's sad when I say, damn, she ain't doing good. But you know what I mean? But we want y'all to do good.
Yeah.
We like y'all to move forward and find love and move on and stuff like that. So, you know, that's a big thing.
Some men, no.
I didn't say
Some
all.
men like listen.
No,
They want to
most.
see you fail because
Right.
they feel like they done helped brought you up. It goes the same way.
No,
Well, I
that's-
would- I would
Some
say- I'm sorry, go ahead,
No,
go
I'm
ahead.
sorry.
You know what I'm
Some
saying?
men do feel that way.
Most men genuinely want to see
Yeah.
that woman do better after, like, you know, but you all gonna have a small bunch that, you know, it's never 100%, but majority of the men want to see, you know, women do good
There
after.
must be
It's
some
only the ones
mature
who,
men.
Yeah.
They
you know-
older in season.
Mm-hmm.
I
So
don't
you
know
say
older,
you
but
see your
just
ex right now
seasoned.
with somebody who's
I'll be excited. I'll be super happy.
No, stop.
Nah. Here's the reason. No, here's the reason why. Because I have unconditional love for my ex.
okay.
So if I'm not with her, I want to make sure that she's still getting the benefits that she needs for her life, whether I'm the one that's providing that for her.
Okay.
So that's why I'll be like, yo, I'll be good. I want to meet homie, say, what's up? Everything good? Like,
Okay.
I mean,
take care, shorty.
I'll say I can be excited, but I don't know if I want to meet him, you know, all that type of stuff.
Like,
that's
I'm saying, like, it's no sweat off my back.
no, it's no sweat. I'm
You know
just
what I'm
saying.
saying?
I'm just saying though. No, but I mean, I've had it happen. Like, I've run into like my ex and like seen like a new man, and you know, matter of fact, I remember I seen somebody like at a Walmart one time though, like that. You know, I was just walking around and it was so long. I ain't seen her so long, and I was like, she came up to me, hugging me and anything like that. I was like, cool. As I saw a man in the corner, he was sour though, boy. Like,
Yeah, but that's crazy though. But that's my point. Like, yo, what you talking about?
like you with her, you
with her, you like, right?
It's
Like, you
over.
got, like,
It's over. What's the
But
problem?
men
you know?
can be very territorial.
No, we are.
No,
we
we
absolutely
are.
are. Yeah, absolutely.
You wouldn't want your girl running up to no man in the store.
I'm saying she gotta run the
Oh,
corner,
not run
though,
up.
but
Yeah.
not run up. Yeah, but it's the way that you gotta do it
You
though.
can't run out. You better
Like,
run out. You better walk
who was
slow.
it? Well,
You better
Megan-
walk slow.
Don't be too
Don't be
excited.
What was it? Was it Megan Good or something like that? Where
Oh yeah,
with
yeah.
that
She was
celebrity where she jumped on him and hugged him. Like, now that's disrespect. Now you know
Oh,
right
Maggie
Yeah,
Good.
yeah,
I saw that.
yeah.
it's like, what
That
you
was a
doing
big,
now?
but they played that. They like clipped half of it. He did speak.
I don't care what part they clip.
What's the name?
I don't care what part they clip. It was too much energy. That's when it's like, wait a minute. You know what I mean?
So he can't spin her around.
No.
Nah, that's too much. Yeah. That's too much. You know?
He can't squeeze her and break her ribs.
Nah. A quick little, you know one of the side hugs. You know one of the side hugs. Hey, how you doing?
Yeah, like that.
Yeah, you
They
get
got
one of those.
that. One of them church hugs when the female sticks the butt out and they just pat the back like that.
Yeah, that is too funny. Yeah, no, but sleeping with the enemy is definitely a real thing. I feel it can happen. There's a lot of reasons why people stay in relationships that they shouldn't.
Right.
It's just, I guess it's all about knowing yourself, right? At the end of the day, and knowing what your worth is. That's what's most important.
Yeah,
knowing.
absolutely.
That's
Yeah.
the key thing. And I say that like again, speaking to us as women, because we are the ones who do that. Majority, I would say there's a high percentage of women that do that than men. And like you said, is knowing who you are, having that self-confidence in yourself, because words are powerful.
Yeah.
Let me tell you, women, we can act like we strong and I don't care what you say and but those seeds get planted, and if it's constantly being told, like, it will bring your self-esteem down. And before you realize it, you're in a depressed state and don't even realize you're depressed. You're in that depressed state. And I'm speaking from experience. I didn't even know what depression was until I was deep in it, and then realize, and it comes with speaking to other people too, what depression and stuff is. But words are powerful. And some men I feel like intentionally do it to women, especially if they know that woman is weak. And then some men who I think is just they say it but don't realize how much it's affecting their woman.
Right.
Yeah.
But again, back to what you said, it takes us building us, and a lot of the times as women, we seek love from other sources and not realizing that we first have to love ourselves.
Yeah.
No, I agree. That's a good point.
There's some situations where people don't even know that they are the enemy. You know, people are unaware of it because there's a lack of communication. So I may think everything is good, but you know, Shorty can hate my guts, you know, and she could only express it but so much. So that in my brain, I'm just thinking it's like, oh, she good. But in her brain, she's like, yo, she can't stand me. You get what I'm saying? And then so I may be relaxed, like metaphorically relaxed, sleeping, and she's just, you know, sleeping with one eye open because she, you know, I'm thinking everything is good, but meanwhile she deep down feels a type of way.
Right.
You know, so that a lot of times I feel like a lot of relationships is like that too, to where, you know, one partner is unaware of how bad this other person feels about them or don't know how to feel about them. So then they continue the same behavior, and because there's a lack of communication and lack of understanding, nothing really gets resolved. And then, you know, then out of nowhere, there's like a big burst out, like a big, you know what I'm saying?
Outburst.
You get what I'm saying? And then you thinking like, yo, where does this come from? But little do you know, this been happening for years.
Right.
You get what I'm saying?
Right.
And that's a huge thing, man. You know, so I mean, like I said, communication is key, but what do you think that is a reason why people, you know, are not seeing eye to eye in relationships outside of communication?
I mean, look, communication is big. I mean, that's the main one right there, because it really is just communication for the most part. If you don't know something is wrong, how can you fix it?
That's
You
true.
know what I mean? And if someone's not telling you certain little things or triggers, you don't know. And it is both sides' jobs to kind of figure out what those triggers are, to kind of tell when somebody gets annoyed or get upset.
Right.
But like, we got to have those conversations.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that's how relationships go sour after a while, where it's just like you're doing triggering stuff, or, you know, the classic, oh, we got a bunch of love languages. And, you know what I mean?
Love language, yeah.
So that, you know, so it's a real thing. I mean, I think, you know, women like to use emotionally intelligent. Men are actually way more emotionally intelligent than I think. We just like tune out because it's too much energy to put into that though. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you know, but not saying it's right or whatever the case is, but you know, so that's a big thing too. But again, you know, it's a lot that has to do with it. I mean, finances is a big thing. I mean, we are romantic in finance. The truth is, you can really tell if somebody wants to be with you if they got $1 million today, would they stay with you? And we all know, looking in the mirror, a lot of relationships, that person probably leave real quick. Like, you know what I mean?
Right.
So that for me is kind of the determining factor of like, you know, is this person for me? Because me, the way I judge the situation is that, is this person really going to ride with me through hard times and things of that nature? And we're going to work through this together. Of course, as a man, you can't not have a job for like a year and a half. It's just not going to work. I don't care what woman is. Yeah, just not built for that.
Right.
You know what I mean? So, but outside of that, you know, just understanding that we're actually in this together through thick and thin, and we're going to work things out, you know. But if that's a big thing though, but if a woman can't do that, she's not for you. And I'm sure vice versa. Yeah, have versions of what men should be doing and can't do that, you know, destroy a relationship.
Yeah, that's true.
Outside of understanding, it's comprehension. And outside of communication, it's comprehension and understanding. Because if I tell a woman something, right, and I think that she understood, but she didn't tell me that she understood it, then I'm thinking I'm having a conversation and communicating. But if she's just like, okay, yeah, without really expressing that she don't really understand what I'm saying, then the communication really, it was just surface level. It didn't really get anywhere. But once I know that she understood and comprehended what I was trying to say in my message, then we can move forward, because then now both parties are equally understanding what's going on. And that's part of the one-sided thing, because people may talk to each other all the time, but if you guys are not comprehending what each other's talking about,
It's true.
it don't really matter what y'all talking about.
It's true. And then the other person also has to be willing to want to not necessarily change, because
Mhm.
but wanting to meet you halfway.
Correct.
Right.
Correct.
And
Correct.
kind of compromise to
Mhm.
kind of,
Mhm.
And that's
Make you
where selfishness comes in.
Okay.
We got some selfish beings out there.
Yes,
Yeah.
That's
absolutely.
women in
Men
And
too. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
and that plays a big part in a relationship. And like you said, with compromise, if both parties is willing to do that, because a lot of the times, thinking about what you said too, Kay, is
Mhm.
having that communication. And some people only listen enough to say what they want to
Say
say.
what they want to
They're
say.
Yeah.
not really.
That's a real thing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like they only quiet just so you can say what you say,
Yeah,
so they
that's
can
fine.
get out what they want to say. They're
Mhm.
not really listening. They're not
Mhm.
really taking in
Mhm.
what you're saying. And that's a big thing.
Mhm.
That's a big thing, because everybody wants to get their point across.
Yeah.
Across where the communication comes in. But I don't know. People need to communication. It still goes back to
Yeah.
communication,
Yeah.
regardless of how way
Yeah.
we put this conversation. Communication is the key. But I do kind of want to flip this a little bit.
Okay.
So we talk about sleeping with the enemy, right?
Mhm.
What if we talk about that person really not being your enemy? You think that's your enemy.
Mhm.
And I think about this more of in marriages. So I'm going to speak
Mhm.
on marriages, because what God puts together, the enemy always wants to pull
Mhm.
apart, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Mhm.
So he's going to cause that discord in your marriage.
Yeah.
And the enemy always uses the closest thing to you, which is either your husband, your wife, or your kids,
Yeah.
right? So it's always going to be the closest thing to you that's discord is going to happen.
Mhm.
So what about people we think our spouse is our enemy, but they really aren't our enemy? It's just the enemy making us think
Mhm.
Yeah,
that's
Yeah.
your enemy,
Yeah, no, that's deep.
right?
That's deep, because you wrestle with spirit and I mean, but with flesh and not spirit necessarily.
Right.
And that it's just a process.
Mhm.
Being in a committed relationship with anybody, as long as you put God 1st
Mhm.
and you both are on the same page, you should definitely be able to fight through your battles, and get
Mhm.
through those tough struggles. But I definitely understand what you mean, because sometimes, you can get yourself, like, sometimes maybe you're more spiritual than your spouse,
Yeah.
right?
Right.
Yeah, that's
And
the
you
thing,
getting
yeah.
into prayer, and you getting into that Bible, and you really starting to dive deep in your beliefs and your
Mhm.
spirituality. But your partner might not be there yet. So the enemy is more than likely going to use that your partner to go against you. So now y'all fighting, maybe he's not talking to you. You guys are arguing all the back and forth. But it's really not him. It's really more so the spirit just trying to distract you from where you're going, because now it puts you in a mindset of being depressed and feeling low energy. So you can't really focus and give your all to your practices and to your spirituality, because now you're so depressed and focused on, and that's what the enemy wants to do. It's like a trick from the enemy to get you, to distract you.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And how can you function when there's so much
tension,
that negative energy and tension in the house?
Yeah.
Right.
You can't.
Yeah.
Like, and that's not even just in a relationship. That's like if you're working,
Mhm.
trying to handle business,
Yeah.
the kids, if you got kids in the house, it's like all of that mentally is a distraction for you. You can't focus.
Yeah.
You can't focus at all. So at that point, it's like everybody, if the kids go get your butt in the
Exactly.
room.
All of us here have played the silent treatment game before.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
oh my
Yeah.
Oh,
You come in the house, you use so much energy trying not to speak to the person.
Right.
Excuse me. Can you tell him?
You good? Yeah.
Right.
You sure? I'm all right. Everything is okay.
And don't tell me something wrong with me. I know something wrong with me. Don't tell me something wrong. What's bothering you? Nothing bothering me. Nah, something bothering you.
Let me see.
What's it?
What type are you? Are you the type to break the ice? Are you the first
I
person?
am. I don't
I'm
like
the
to
first
hold
person.
grudges.
Yeah.
I swear I am. Like, I can be mad,
Yeah.
but then I'm over it after a couple of hours or so, and then I'm ready to be back talking.
Yeah.
But if you trying to hold a grudge, y'all men, y'all can hold. Y'all stubborn.
can hold
I
it.
mean, I don't know. Me personally, I don't hold.
Oh, you don't. Oh, you don't. Right?
No.
Okay, right. No, by his personality now, he He don't.
I don't know grudges, honestly.
I'm gonna hold you. I used to hold grudges. Man. I used to hold grudges.
Can
Now,
you look like
honestly,
you used to hold grudges?
Yeah, I used to hold grudges
Right.
hard. But honestly, now, like as I got older, I stopped doing that. I feel like it's pointless, and I'll do little stuff to like kind of hint that I'm not holding a grudge.
Okay.
Right?
Doesn't
To
mean
try to
the
figure
roll
out,
behind
to
me.
try to figure out if you're talking to me still. You know what I'm saying? And you know, sometimes it works, sometimes it don't. It takes longer than others, but yeah, I don't hold grudges anymore though. But I used to. Though.
You used to hold them.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, I just try to break the ice immediately, honestly.
Okay.
For me, I'm the type where it's just like, yeah, she's pissed off at me, and I'm like, listen, I know you're mad at me right now. I just did X, Y, Z. It's gonna be all right. I still love you though. You know what I mean? And I said, you know what I mean? Like just attack it head on.
Yeah.
And
You know,
she's still gonna be mad, and
Right.
we have a few minutes, but she don't cave in after a while. Like,
Yeah.
I addressed it immediately.
good.
So after like 10, 15 minutes, she's still gonna be mad, but it's
Right.
just like
That's the best.
slowly.
Yeah. Go, Ra. I like that. I like that. A lot of maturity. Yeah.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
It is. It really is. I hate when you just sitting in the house and the elephant is right there.
You're right.
Y'all all just keep walking all around it.
Right.
All
Yeah,
around it.
Yeah.
Just address the issue.
Mhm.
Whew. Jesus.
I mean, I guess my question is,
Uh-oh.
how long can you live knowing that when that time hits that you know that this relationship is not going to work?
Mhm.
How do you get out of that though? Like, I guess that's my question. Like, I guess that's the grand question, really.
That's.
You know,
Mm.
how long can you live with that?
Mhm.
You know,
Mhm.
because a lot of people be in relationships for years and it's been over,
Mhm.
which is
Mm.
crazy. Like,
Right.
you know, I think it's one of those things where it goes back to self,
Mhm.
just really understanding yourself, what you can and can't take.
Mhm.
And once you understand self and you find the happiness for yourself,
Right.
you can get out of that situation. But we all been there. Like
Yeah.
we've been
Yeah.
stayed too long,
Mhm.
knowing that it's over.
Yeah.
But you know what I mean? Like, but I guess these days my word to people is just like at that point when you realize that moment,
Mhm.
you either gotta forgive and move on, not gonna forget,
Mhm.
or you just gotta leave.
People fear change. That's why.
Yeah.
Like
They do.
they fear the unknown. I'm used to you. I know you.
Yeah.
You know, I know you're
True.
good, the bad. I know all of that stuff already.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
why would I want to start over and have to find somebody new, get to learn them, get to do this, get to this, and they weigh it out on the Libra scale? Does it make sense? Is it that bad enough to where I can't work it out? So all of these things play a factor. But the most thing is people fear the unknown. They fear the change.
Yeah.
Mm.
That
you know?
and on another side of it too is some people feel like all hope isn't lost.
Mm.
Mhm.
Mhm.
So some people feel like and this can be when people are like
Mhm.
one moment they see everything is like going to hell, then the next moment that significant other, whether it's male or female, is starting to show love.
Mhm.
And then they're on that good path for a few, the next thing you know, boom, it's
Mhm.
back a whole mess again.
Mhm.
So you're like on an emotional roller coaster ride. So
Mhm.
sometimes I know I will speak for as a female, like sometimes if we see like, okay, well things are going good, maybe it can work,
Mhm.
you know,
Mhm.
and then it'll go good for maybe a week, 2 weeks, and then boom, it's back a hot mess again.
Right.
So that could be another reason
So I'm
too.
glad you said that. So the more frequent that you argue with somebody and you going through something with somebody, the more and more you have to know that it's because then you're creating a situation where you're becoming denial. You're in denial. You
Yeah.
become naive about the situation.
Yeah.
So the more frequent that you are arguing with somebody, the more you got to tell yourself this is not going to work. You know why? Because two people coexisting together is not supposed to be that hard.
Mhm.
And I'm not saying that you can't have differences, but if you constantly find a reason to continuously argue on like a day-to-day basis,
Saying something.
it's saying something.
Mhm.
Right.
You're just choosing to ignore those signs for whatever reason, you know, for the sake of quote unquote staying together. But the reality is, it's clear as day that y'all two shouldn't be together.
But then not, that's not always the case. Maybe
Yeah,
it
but
could
I'm
be just like what we said, it's a lack of communication.
Mhm.
If you guys don't know how to communicate with one another, and it's something that one person is not understanding, the other person is not comprehending. So it's like y'all arguing or y'all butting heads because you just in two different places with each other. Maybe you guys need like a medium, somebody to come in the middle,
Mhm.
or like a therapist or therapy to kind of like hash it out, whatever the problem is. And maybe You need more sex or less sex?
That could be it.
No, sex.
That's actually another topic. People staying together just because of sex.
Because
Yeah,
it will change.
That's next week. That's next week.
I was just about to
That's
say
next
that.
week,
Like
yeah.
you arguing back and forth, and but you know you're not supposed to be with that
Mhm.
person, right? But you keep having sex with the person, and the sex is good. It changes your mind.
Oh, yeah.
It's hard for you to get. So it's like you go back and forth, back and forth. You know you're not supposed to be,
Mhm.
but then you have one good night, and then it's like, oh, maybe
Mhm.
I can do this.
Mhm.
It's like when you're about to like fall off the edge and somebody grab you because
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where you going?
Yeah,
Listen,
like,
listen,
yeah,
you know there's some science behind that, but I'm gonna leave that till next week. I'm gonna leave the science till next week. But, you know.
Yeah.
Wow.
But no.
Yeah.
Should go maybe some comments. I don't think I got any comments.
Okay, I got one from Terrell. He says, "I don't hold grudges, but as long as we can come together and talk it out, then what? I don't hold grudges, but as long as we can come together and talk it out,
on Facebook.
then what argument? Okay, laugh out loud. Got you.
Is that anything you can hear?
Yeah, 2 people on Facebook said that they can't hear anything.
Let me see something. No, it wasn't on mute because they wouldn't be able to hear us at all.
Yeah, just hearing an echo now.
You have anything on yours?
Oh yes, somebody said video.
Oh, she said it's working now. Kay.
Huh? It's good
She
now.
said it's working now.
Okay.
There we go.
Kim
there we
says
go.
it's working now. Thank you guys.
Thank you.
Let us know. Mhm.
Little technical difficulties.
Yeah.
But so if you're adding sex to it, it's gonna I feel like it's just harder. It makes it harder for you to kind of break those
that's
ties.
that connection.
Yeah.
People don't realize you're like intertwining
Mhm.
when
And that's why a lot of people, even after they break up, they still go back for a while.
Yeah.
Yes, that's
that
the
comfortability.
real
I
thing.
go
Yeah,
back.
yeah.
Listen, I never went back.
You never know.
I had this conversation with a girlfriend the other day, and she was shocked. She was like, "You never went back to an ex?" Absolutely not.
That's good,
Yeah.
T.
No, that's
I
good.
ain't
That's
fun-
good.
I
That's
doubled-
good self.
I doubled and tripled it. What? Listen.
Until you can take that seatbelt off.
Man, listen.
I'm safe to leave fully now.
I'm telling you, man. For real, for real.
Yeah. Is it that you have to find a replacement before you let it go?
No, I mean, not necessarily. Not necessarily.
So what?
But I mean, listen, to the point of that part of the conversation, listen, I mean, when it's good, it's good. Like, you know, I mean, you know, why not?
Got
You know?
you.
So, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we know why not, Kate.
Yeah.
I mean, myself, yeah, I'm not too much of a person that goes back.
Okay.
Just the natural, it's just too much headache.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? Because once you clear of that emotional attachment in terms of, right, we made that decision,
Mhm.
and that's just too much headache for me. Like, I love my peace. You know what I mean? Because it's all good in the moment, but then after that, the same headache. We want to start arguing about the same thing. As soon as we get done, it's going to be peaceful right after. We lay not watching TV, then it's going to be like, oh, I hate it when you do this. It's like, that's why. You know what I mean? Like, so, for me, like, I love my peace. I love my peace. I love my peace.
Yeah.
You know.
Definitely.
But no, I mean, it's you know, for me personally, like I just learned in those moments when you know it's over, it's time to let it go. You know, I mean, I think I had a moment, you know, in my life where I was dating somebody at the time when my son was very young. And it was a moment where she never met my son, even though he existed. And so like we going to like a little birthday party, whatever the case is. And it was the first time seeing. And when I tell you, she froze like deers in the headlight, like as if she seen a ghost.
Mhm.
And it was like at that moment, I just knew she wasn't for me because she couldn't handle the pressure.
Wow.
But in that very moment in my head, like I knew, like, yo, if I stay with her, like it's probably not gonna work out. Like I'm actually losing some self-respect for myself. And I did. It was a low point in my life for a little minute, but it didn't last. It was a point.
Mhm.
But ever since then, like I learned, like, yeah, you can't do it. It don't make no sense.
Yeah.
Because we all know those moments when it comes where it's not gonna really work. But a lot of times because of the fear of starting over or doing something different and all that type of stuff, you stay. But the truth is you gotta leave. You know, you gotta lead. You know, so
Yeah. I was curious to know why. Usually with women,
Mhm,
I wouldn't say it's easier for us to take a man back after cheating,
mhm.
but we're more likely to do it than a
True.
man.
Yeah.
What is it? What is it about you guys, or are you willing to take a woman back after cheating?
90% of men, no.
He
Yeah,
said that with no hesitation.
Yeah, plug that in.
No
Yeah.
hesitation.
And why is that?
The truth be told is that first off, like the thought alone, at least another man's part,
Even hurt right now.
you know,
Just thinking about it.
going into my woman, that was mine. You know what I mean? So the thought of somebody else going after me, let alone oral, like, nah, my mind's blown. Like, I can't get over that thought. As men, it's hard to get over that though. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
It's hard to unsee it.
yeah,
There you go.
exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, like real talk. One of my best friends always used to say, like, hey, you gotta be careful. Because don't ever bust in a woman's door, somebody that you don't live in houses. Because once you see her, like it's like a pain in your heart. Like, man, like you cannot get over it,
Right,
honestly, at the end of the day. And like that's like a true real thing. So it's like, man, we just can't.
Right.
We're not built for it.
Right.
You know, we're conquerors, so we know that once again it goes back to what we talked about last time, is that once a man gets with a woman, he conquers her. And we know if another man conquers you, she's no longer yours. Like it has to be gives. Like,
What if it was like a get back thing? Like you did it first.
it don't matter. It don't
Yeah,
matter.
yeah,
It don't matter.
yeah.
It don't matter.
Mhm.
We just for the most part we just can't survive. And I'll be honest with you, it's only I want to be politically correct. I don't want to say weak, man, but you know, what's the right word?
Yeah,
sensitive. I guess that's the right word today.
Yeah, go for it.
You're like, that's all on you, bro.
It's those type of dudes that can accept that, because we all know deep down, as a woman, once you lose respect for a guy, it's done anyway.
Mhm.
And you know what I mean? And you're really out of love for the most part if you actually let that happen. Because most women emotionally attach to men when that happens. It's not like dudes. Like we go out, we had a drink, and it's like, oh man, she was nice, she fine. And I had too much to drink, and I just slipped up and it was over. And it didn't mean nothing. Like it truly happens like that in a lot of ways for men.
Mhm.
Like it's just like, yo, whoo, she looked good. Damn, I'm up. It happened. It's over. I'm
I don't
done.
know. I think these young girls nowadays, I think they operate like that. I don't know.
Oh yeah, no, y'all
Yeah,
savages
yeah,
now.
yeah,
No,
yeah.
not
Wait,
y'all.
no, y'all.
She corrected that quick. She corrected that quick. She said,
Y'all, ain't no
Yeah,
y'all.
no.
She
I
said the younger girl.
I think they just.
But
I think they like that.
I agree with a 1,000%. It's
Mhm.
not going down. Like, I can't even fathom that idea, because the reason being is because
The big words though.
for me, if another dude is anything like me, like doing what I'm doing with a shorty, I can't picture him doing what I would do to another shorty, because
Exactly.
it's like,
But she had somebody before you.
no,
Yeah,
absolutely, but
it was
I can't
before.
control
It
that.
was before.
I can't control that.
We
Right,
know
right.
whatever.
That, yeah, you can't
You know
control
what I
that.
mean?
But during the time I'm with you, you cheat. Like, just the thought, I just can't. I can't accept it. You know? Yeah, I can't accept it.
So crazy.
Yeah, it is. It's insane.
so
But
crazy.
you know, yeah, I
I'm
just
mature
couldn't do
enough to know that I can't handle it.
it. Yeah,
Because in my head it's like,
yeah,
so wait, you did the thing that I love with some.
Yeah.
So basically,
I
at
can't.
that moment, even if she was paying half the rent, you gonna figure it out.
Oh, yeah,
I'm gonna-
absolutely.
yeah, I'm gonna figure it out.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I'll figure
You
it out.
gonna
Yes.
get a second job, whatever.
Absolutely. Like I'm good. Like, ain't no coming back from seeing from ain't no coming back from it.
I
Like,
agree,
Oh
yeah.
my
Bump
god.
the rent.
you know what I mean?
Everything.
I'm
Figure
good.
it out.
I'm good.
It make you think
And the
about
truth is,
Chris Brown song, Who's Getting My Residual?
Right.
That's what it is. And I mean, it goes back to even. But it goes back to the topic we were just talking about, though. Like, there are dudes that stay, but the dudes that stay in those situations, like, they have a real low self-esteem level.
Yeah,
You know what I
sure,
mean?
yeah,
And it just never works out. And at the end
I
of
don't
the day,
think it has to do with low self-esteem.
it's a
That plays a
huge
role.
part
No,
of it.
I mean,
Yeah, it's a huge
no.
part
What
of
if it's like more so to?
if you're in love, if like this is the thing. So if you're
What if you have a
super,
family?
no, but
Said no.
if you're in love with if you're really in love with the person on a serious note, you will. You know what I mean? But that's why a lot of men after they get out of that, I'm in love with you, and then she does something like that, it's no mercy for a lot of women from that point. And those are a lot of the men that y'all meet after the fact. Like where it's just like, nah, after you get through that first, like I'm little in love and she did some stupid stuff and you forgave her, like she's the one that ruins it up for everybody. That's the bad apple.
You'll never be in love like that again.
Yeah, exactly.
So you don't think you'll ever fall in love again? Like,
no, I didn't say that.
Oh.
I said it. You know what I mean? I'm just saying, try to get but I'm just trying what I'm saying is,
see what happened was,
you know what I mean? No, but
like, wait a minute.
you're more
He's very
mature
much in
now.
love.
You know what I mean? You're more mature now, so
Okay.
therefore you understand it more. You're not as naive.
right.
Gotcha.
You know, and me at 22 is not me now. Like,
Yeah,
you know, back in the
true.
days, it's like, we're in love, we're naive, and this is
Mhm.
the best thing, and we're in this together forever, no matter what. You know what I mean? And then you get older, you're like, I've seen this movie before.
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
you know what I mean?
yeah.
Like,
Right.
You know?
You're not gonna let yourself go over.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
You pull
Yeah.
some reason back in.
Yeah,
You know what
yeah.
I mean? So,
Yeah.
Okay.
Enough to be able to recover.
exactly.
And
exactly.
just in case.
Just exactly.
Okay.
You gotta prepare. You gotta prepare. You know?
Exactly.
Gotcha.
So I mean, back to the finance side, right? So what are some ways that, financially, I guess people can prevent themselves from quote unquote sleeping with the enemy, quote unquote, getting with that person, that they feel or they can get with a person, and by the time they actually get with them, they realize, like, wait a minute, I didn't realize all these flaws, I didn't realize we're having all these different issues. How can they prevent that financially from happening?
What do you mean financially? What do you mean?
So, like, if, for example, the issues that two people may be having, if you move in together, right? Now there's a high chance that you might be splitting rent, or if you're not splitting rent, somebody's paying utilities while the other one is paying rent. What are the things that can be done in order for the two people to not really go through what they're going through from a financial perspective?
Yeah, I mean, for me, it's just having the uncomfortable conversations. A lot of times we jump in these relationships and we don't have real conversations. Like the conversations that, I have women I'm dating or I'm with is that I know that you depend on me, but I don't want you to always depend on me. Like my goal as a man is to put you in a position that if we were to break up or, whatever, you can actually survive out there in the world. Because to your point, Kami, a lot of times we jump in these relationships, and as men, we know we naturally can bounce back a little bit faster. You know what I mean? So we take control of the relationship, and if you're not putting your woman in a position to exceed or excel, she has to depend on you.
Yeah.
And I personally don't like that. Like,
Yeah.
I want it to where at least if we break up, I want to see you prosper. And I don't want you to be able to depend on me, because the truth is, it's a false sense of security if a woman is in that situation with me, because it's just like, okay, if everything goes, like, I know she's going to stay longer because finances do play a role. Let's be honest here. If you're a stay-at-home mom, you can't get no job. You know what I mean? So if you do have a kid, you're no longer in the workforce for 3, 4, 5, 6 years. So therefore, if you do break up, like, you are going to crash. And some men do use that as an advantage. But the truth is, for women, y'all need to identify, is he just trying to take care of the home and want to be a provider? Or is a little part of him is trying to keep you at a certain level because he's insecure and not able to provide for you and want you to see to go to another level. And I think that's the big part for women that have to try to identify that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, that's deep what you said. Yeah, because a lot of men are insecure and they don't want to see you do better than them in a kind of way. So it's like they are low-key jealous. They can be jealous of you. So you have to be careful with that too. Jealousy is a big thing. Yeah. And they could just try to like play on your insecurities and all your weaknesses just to keep you low or keep your energy and your spirit down. Just so you don't get above, just so that they can continue to control you. But to your point, Ross, it's so funny that you should mention, making sure that your woman is financially stable just in case anything should happen. I saw a video where this guy is paying his wife $250,000 to be a stay-at-home mom.
That's ridiculous.
That's ridiculous.
That's helping no one. Like, that's helping no one.
That's helping her
no
to become financially independent.
That's crippling her. That's crippling her.
He's giving her.
If he's giving her
stay-at-home mom.
$250K,
He pays her to be a stay-at-home mom.
That's
And her
insanity.
salary is $250,000 a year.
That's
wild.
let's put that in perspective. Why that's ridiculous. Outside of, I know women
Stay-at-home
love
mom is
that.
a lot of work.
It's a lot of work, but $250K.
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah.
Like
I mean,
nobody's gonna pay us. First off, listen,
Wait, I agree to disagree.
Okay.
I know you would.
I do agree that it's hindering her.
Mhm.
Honestly,
Mhm.
I do, because think about this: all these stars who have these, either they're football players, basketball
Mhm.
players, football, everything. They break up, and these women go for alimony or child support, but they get in millions of dollars a month because they have to keep up with that lifestyle,
Mhm.
right?
Mhm.
So I kind of like disagree with that part. Like, I agree with,
Mhm.
I think it is hindering her because, like you said, you should be teaching her.
Mhm.
Yes, you can give her some money, but not 250 just to stay home.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Now, what I disagree is yes, is it worth it? Heck yeah, because y'all is a pain in the behind,
Hey,
running the household
hey,
and
listen,
taking
Let me
care
ask
of
you a
the
question.
kids.
Hold on.
If the
I'm
roles
a-
were switched and you was the breadwinner, would you mind paying your husband $250,000?
I'm not-
Take care of the kids.
I want to look you in the eyes when you say
No.
that.
First of all, no. Okay. For one, if we married, it's both our money. Period.
Right.
It shouldn't be no separate, right?
Mhm.
Let's just.
I
clear
just
the
want
air
to
on
highlight
that.
everybody how she came with that too now.
Yes.
You want to say that conventional. So I'm listening.
But I agree with you. I agree that you shouldn't be paying either one of the spouses 200. To me, that's a hindrance. What is she? If she's just staying home taking care of the kids, what is she learning? Like, put her in school. Let's learn how to build this money.
Yeah.
What are you doing with that 250K?
Yeah.
Are you
Yeah.
investing it?
Yeah,
That's
maybe
what I'm
If
saying.
he's giving her that, maybe he's teaching. Hopefully, he's teaching her to invest it, or she's building some type of businesses or buying properties or something with it. Hopefully, she's doing something smart with the money and not just going and buying all this name brand stuff or
Yeah,
whatever.
What smart could you?
Yeah, no,
think-
but listen, you have to,
Uh-huh.
like, okay. I feel like when you're
Mhm.
in that kind of like power couple type of relationship,
lot of kids.
yeah, and one of the partners, just as to say, like, one of the partners is, multi-millionaire, whatever. But y'all kind of like came in together when y'all really had nothing. I feel like you still have to. It's just kind of like when the rappers get put on and they be like, oh, I gotta put my homies on too. You gotta feed the wolves,
Yeah, absolutely, yeah.
or they gonna eat you.
Yeah, I agree. I agree
You
with
gotta
that.
pay your husband or your wife because eventually they get jealous.
I believe
You
in
don't want them
paying-
to
so-
feel like,
Yeah.
you gotta kind of you even gotta give them a fake job.
I see where you're going with this. So
You
then,
gotta-
so then, I think
A
it's
fake
more.
job, I like
Yeah.
it.
So, yeah, 'cause-
A fake
A
job.
fake job.
So
like,
no, but you're right. So here's the thing. I think that to stay, if you're a stay-at-home parent, right?
Mhm.
Other person is a breadwinner, right? You guys know that you're both parents. So somebody is quote unquote babysitting, but you're both parents.
yeah.
So the payment for watching a child that's yours to that level, I think that's insane because you're not a babysitter. You're a parent
I
that's
know.
watching their child.
But look
Is
at
he
Nicki
right?
Minaj and her husband. I'm
so-
pretty sure she pays him.
So-
He take the baby everywhere. I'm pretty sure he gets a salary just for being there.
I mean,
Okay,
Yeah,
that's
he's-
okay. So
No,
what if
I
they?
don't
Okay,
get the salary
let's say
just
I
for
agree
hold-
with
He
that.
hold the baby.
So he must be like, maybe this is a business mindset that he's doing because maybe he got to be paying her as an employee. It is some type of tax thing or
no,
whatever.
it's
If
definitely
that's,
a-
it
if
gotta
that's the
be.
case, then okay, I get it. If it's that
if
that
that's
way.
the case,
If it's that way
No.
to a degree, no, here's the reason why. Because it's just like
he clearly
it's
has
just like
enough
it's
money.
just like no,
Why
hold
do
on,
you
hold on,
care?
let me finish. It's just like paying your child to be an employee. They can get X
Right,
amount per year,
Exactly.
yes.
and then they can take that money and invest it in a Roth IRA
Right.
for themselves, right? So it works from a business perspective. So if that's the case, then that makes sense financially
Yeah.
to a degree. But what I'm saying is that like if he's just paying her just to pay her to
No.
watch the children,
Not just watch the children, but
Just to
we-
be the
we're-
wife.
more than likely women are the ones we go out, we go
So-
do all the shopping for the house.
But this is where
she booking the
You know,
vacation.
Exactly. I need
Mhm.
money.
She
everything.
do
something a
everything.
travel agent can do. Well, okay.
But why
But-
pay a travel agent?
When you
Bring
got
it
a
back in the
wife.
house.
See, but see, I like this. You know why? This is how I get got. This is how I get got. Because to Kayleen's point, like you said, it's a business move. Think about this.
Uh-huh.
I feel like that podcast do it.
Think about it. They don't get it.
They don't get it. No, but when you think about it logically, it is a smart business move. Because think about it, if he's actually paying his wife a real salary as an employee and they go to court, he can now take it to the court when they divorce and say that, hey, she was making her own salary from a business. Yes, I am the owner, but it's a business. Now she can go make that money somewhere else, and he has to pay less child support depending on where he's at financially and alimony because he's actually paying her a salary. See, that's how I be getting got. Oh yeah, $250. Then when come time I do divorce, and he got a prenup in place, and he paying you $250. Judge, I need wait.
First of all, we ain't getting no prenup.
Yeah, see, listen, that dude that paying $250,
he got a prenup. He got a prenup. Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean? But now you screwed because now you go to the judge. He's like, oh wait, you got your own salary, you got your own job. So based on the job description he gave you and that salary being paid, you can get that job somewhere else.
I can only work for him.
Huh?
If you're gonna continue to keep.
That's gonna be a hard case. That's gonna be a hard case right there. But that's why I said, nah, $250 is just excessive. You know what I mean? Naturally, no matter what you're doing, because at the end of the day, it can be a business move. Because to Katie's point, if you have kids, it's a tax write-off if you're actually paying your child. So you can pay somebody a real salary. But once you start, what job pays you at $250 if you're not like a CIO of the company or an executive of the company, that type of stuff? You know what I'm saying?
Prostitutes more than that.
I mean, I don't know what type of prostitute you paying for, like $250. Like, you know, I'm just saying.
Yes.
So, but okay, so I think because money is relative, right? So depending on what this person makes, that can be the value of what.
That's what I'm saying.
Like, so for example,
afford it.
if the guy isn't stoning them out there, right? So if the guy's making $20 million a year, to pay somebody $250,000,
that's
to make sure this part of this is taken care of.
Yeah.
I get it from the perspective. The reason why a lot of times we have this issue, and when we're thinking about it, is because we're not in that position.
Yeah.
So 20 million, so 250,000,
Yeah,
250,000 to us, right? Maybe only what? 50,000 in his brain.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying?
Right.
Or 40,000 in his brain. So it's all relative.
Yeah,
It all depends on how much, because I think a person knows what the value of what they're dishing out, what they're distributing when it comes to their finances. So he has to be making an X amount to be paying her.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean that part was never in question.
Yeah.
Again, it's just that just seems like an excessive. To your point though,
yeah,
it is out of our current lifestyle now, but that still seems excessive based on the circumstances, because if he is the head of household and he is paying all the main bills and everything's paid for, what are you actually doing with $250,000? You know what I mean?
It's so funny because I could see Rob, like, when we get in that kind of money, and Rob saying, it keeps her quiet. He gonna be the first one. Keep her quiet. She good. I don't have to hear from her.
No, that's why I do agree with Kate. Like, listen, I'm all about building, and if she wants to start a little business, and that's gonna keep her busy and it's gonna keep us happy. And
for that peace of mind, 250 ain't bad. I'm just saying. I don't even think about it. Like, when you breaking it down,
She's not bothering me. Yeah.
I retract my statement.
Yes. Now that we process it,
out all the time.
How much?
How much is it going?
No, peace is invaluable.
You'll pay a lot for peace. Trust me.
Peace of mind. Absolutely.
I know we got a couple minutes left. I mean, I know.
You can read some comments.
Yeah, do we have any comments?
Yeah, we got some comments. Let's see real quick. So we got some comments here. So Penny said, "Oh, man, offer that." And then Terry says, "If a man pays me $200,000 to be with them, I would get a contract on what my duties would be. I would also invest the money for my future. No relationship is guaranteed to last. I have to protect my future."
Absolutely.
Shout out to Terry, though. We love you, Terry. That's fine.
That's a good one.
Love you,
That's
Terry.
good.
Terry,
You know what I mean?
Get your own bank account.
High
Saving.
And then Penny said that part, big sis. And then Terry also says, I would put a clause. What did she say? Oh, I lost a comment. Hold on. She said, I would put a clause in there that go annual negation, just like an executive would. Nah, that's very smart. That's very smart. So those are my comments right there.
All right. I have Robin said, I want to see that mother suffer without me.
Jesus Christ. Whole world.
Yeah. She not playing. And that's all I got so far.
Yeah. Well, no, I mean it's a big thing. I mean the big takeaway is that we should not be in relationships that we know is over.
Yeah.
If it's over, it's time to make the exit plan, and also have that conversation with your partner. Like, hey, I think it's over, and see if it could work. Because a lot of times we don't realize maybe having that conversation of like, yo, listen, I really feel like we're on edge and it's not really working, and we know it's not working.
Right.
Is there anything that we can do? Can we get counseling? Can we get therapy? That type of thing, and see what happens. Because the thing I like to compare it to is that movie, Acrimony. You know, it's like that one was real right
watch
there.
That again.
Yeah, it was good. She stayed with him 20 years, and personally for me, she was dumb from the day one. I'm sorry. Like she stayed with him like my man wasn't working for 20 years. You know what I mean? Had part-time gigs for 20 years. That was out of control. But the point is, though, she loved him and she stayed. She let outside noise influence her. And then what ended up happening was, as we know, right after when she was like, it's enough. 20, and rightfully so, 20 years. His battery hit. And now she wanted to come back and try to sue him after. I was like, but you left. And the new girl, ironically enough, took him to that next level because she believed in his dream. But that woman had put in all that work for all those years, to your point. But that's the part, ladies. Either you're gonna stay or you're gonna go. You know what I mean? If you go, you gotta let it go. Like that's all I'm saying. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
You know?
She was willing to let him go, but not.
He was gone.
Yeah.
He was gone. He came back, gave her 10 mil. He came back and he didn't have to give her nothing. He gave back 10 mil. Was like, listen, and that goes back to the point that we said earlier on. For men, we want to see our win. Like he was like, yo, this woman held me down for 20 years. Like I mean, not to make it a culture.
I gotta go back and see because I've seen it, but I don't remember it.
Yeah, I remember that movie. That movie was good, bro.
That was the talk for a long
What woman
time.
you know is going to support a man for 20 years? Like,
Was that with Tyler Perry?
yeah, Tyler Perry. She supported that man for 20 years. Took out a second mortgage on a mother house that was paid for, just for him to be working on this battery. Like, she loved him, but then like I said,
I don't know. I felt like he should have took her back.
It was too late. You gotta remember, like, which is what we're talking about with relationships. Like he moved on to a new woman, which she saw the life in him. She's seen all the work he put in there. And because the previous woman, it was just hard. It's hard that when you're in it, it's hard to see the progress. And as we all know, even us as a company, to achieve greatness, you have to go hard at all times. And you're not going to get the results you want until years down the line. And nobody's really going to see it. And so when you win it, it just happens. You know what I mean? Like you look at Michael Jordan. Michael Jordan had to put in all those works, hours of nights playing basketball, shooting in the gym by himself to get to that 7 championships. So it's the same thing with women and everybody else. Like we talked about, like she was there, but she unfortunately gave up in the end. And the end result was he moved on, and a new woman seen it because she's like, yo, this. I was reading your paper on right. Like this is the hit. She was so blown away when they tried to give him 800,000.
She said,
she was like, nah, you bugging. And I worked him. I can get 5 by this tomorrow. She's like, nah, you no. And came back with a $10 million deal. I mean, what was like they never really disclosed. It was like 100 million plus incentives. And it was just like, how, as a man though, like how do you turn that down? Like this chick held me down for 20 years. But this other woman got me 100 million. Like
I said, that's a tough. Yeah, that's tough. Though. I ain't gonna lie. Yeah.
I mean, I could go back, but it's like
I think he did the right move though, because I remember what I do remember. Like I remember that part where, like you said, where he had to come back and
he bought a house and they gave her 10 million. She's set for life.
Okay, so my question is, did she waste her time? Did she waste her years?
No. She didn't waste her years. All she did was the problem is that she loved him to death. And she got married, and she truly honored till death do us part. But what happened was, like she blew up in the end of the movie. She let her family members, her sisters, poison her mind. because
Yeah.
they were against them from day one. Why?
Yeah.
Which is another topic for another day.
Mhm.
Stop letting outside people influence your relationship.
That's a
And
good
stop
topic.
telling
That's
people
true.
stuff that's going on in your relationship. Because if somebody does
That's
something
another
bad,
one.
That's
That's
a really
another
good
one.
topic.
You
yeah.
gotta.
Because somebody
Yeah.
doing something bad to
Yeah.
you, now that other person will always see you in that negative light no matter what.
Yes.
And you know what's so funny? Because us as women, we know who to call, which friend to call and
Mhm.
complain to, depending on
Yeah,
what kind of
yeah,
feedback
yeah,
we
yeah.
want to get back.
Yep.
You
Yeah.
know, so it's
Yep.
like, if I want to be real in my feelings, I'm gonna call my ratchet girlfriend because
Yeah.
I know she
Because she
gonna
gonna go with you.
Yeah.
She gonna go along with
You
you.
see the behavior? You see the behavior, okay.
But then when you
See
and
what we
then
gotta
you
deal
have
with?
that, no, but then when you know you're wrong,
Yeah.
like there was points in my marriage where I was like, I know I'm all in my feelings, so Lord, I need you to give me some truth. So I will call my co-pastor. Co-pastor.
Like I'm dead wrong in this situation.
And I would love her response because she would never respond right away. I won't hear from her for 24 hours
You be
later.
trying to
I'm
cool
on
off.
fire.
You trying to cool
I'm
off.
on fire. Like, you know he's
That's-
wrong.
That's a friend you need in your
That's
life.
smart.
Mhm.
And that's what I would do because,
Yeah.
again, spiritual warfare,
Yeah.
knowing who's your enemy and who's
Mhm.
not your enemy. So
Mhm.
she will always come back with some biblical
Yeah.
stuff.
Yeah.
So when I know I'm like being real, like I will always go to her because I know she's not going to take sides. She's not going to take my side because I'm a female. She's not going to take his side. She brought me the scripture,
Yeah.
and you can't argue with
You
the
can't
word.
argue with the word.
In the Bible, Jesus said it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can't argue with the word. But nah,
Yeah.
Mhm.
But see,
that's it.
let's any last thing that so before we close out, any comments before we close out here?
I don't have no comments.
Oh, my mother wanted me to share her the meme she sent me about Boaz.
Oh, yes. Did y'all see that one?
Which one? No.
About they talk about Boaz in the Bible, and
Mhm.
you know, the preacher went on to say, you know,
Mhm.
so ladies, make sure you're not staying too long if he's a broke ass. If
He's a dumbass.
This is in the Bible? This is
The Boaz.
Okay.
You know, at AZ.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
So he will put dumb
Got
ass,
you.
broke ass.
Got you. Yeah, that's that little woman thing stuff.
Yeah.
He
Alright.
said
It's cute.
disrespectful
It's cute though.
ass.
It's cute though. It's cute.
I guess I'm a little heathen because I ain't get that last 30 seconds of
Yeah,
y'all talking
yeah,
about.
yeah.
I ain't gonna lie. But you know, it's all good. It's all good. It's all good.
Mhm.
It's all good.
All right, guys.
So that's it.
It was been a pleasure. Thank you so much for watching and tuning in. We will be back here next Monday. We are here
Mhm.
every Monday, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We
Mhm.
really enjoyed this conversation. I hope you did too. Another night of romance and finance. You can check us out on our website, www.legacybuildersus.com.
Mhm.
We help you with anything financial needs, whether it be real estate, life insurance, financial literacy, you name it, we have you.
Credit.
Also credit and also property management. And you can also follow us on YouTube. Please subscribe. We're trying to get our subscribers up. So please go ahead and like our videos and click the bell.
Mhm.
We are at Legacy Builders Us. That's Legacy Builders US on YouTube.
Perfect.
That's it.
All right, everybody, have a good night.
Have a good night.
Peace.